Hello Australia, welcome to another Big Couch. Coming up on episode 770, our final show today. Let me tell you who's on. Marianne Vanderhurst has come over from Melbourne to perform for us. Talking music with Demelza Leonard, the 6IX new breakfast team are here. We're going to talk to Nat and to Craig as well, so we'll talk to them. What's on Perth with Belinda Cipriano, the Kmart Wishing Tree with our good friend Frances Higgins, she's back, and we're talking to Red Zoo as well. It's a big show, lots of other guests as well. Stay tuned, episode 770 starts now.
It's showtime on the couch. Yeah, it's showtime on the couch. You can see it from your house. You can watch it from your house. It's showtime on the couch with Fred and the best in town. You can see it from your house. Oh, it's showtime on the couch.
Hello Australia, welcome to our final show for 2023. Thank you for your company. I hope you can stick around for the next hour. We've certainly got the best of Perth and the best of the couch with us today. And talking about the best, Demelza Leonard is here, the best in music. Welcome. I know you've been out doing lots of charity stuff overnight and your voice is a bit croaky.
I'm a little bit shattered, yes.
But welcome and thank you for
though.
being part of the couch this year.
Thank you for having me.
Now, as always, you've got a whole page of things but no ABBA news I've noticed.
Yeah,
But
look,
we'll
I was
forgive
kind
you.
of hoping for the last one, but sadly nothing new to report.
Do you know Bjorn from ABBA?
Yes.
He's actually got his own little Instagram page now where he answers people's questions.
Oh, how often are you on there?
I'm on there every day, of course.
You're one of those.
But I haven't asked any questions yet, but thank you for
You're
acknowledging that. What's happening with No Dire Straits reunion?
Yeah,
what happened there?
Dire Straits, there's been talk of them reuniting. Apparently, they've been given a heap of new options and deals and very lucrative deals as well on the back of everyone else reuniting. And they've turned around and they said, no, it's not going to happen.
Yep.
They just don't want to do anything. It's got nothing to do with any issues or falling out. Everyone is in a really good place with each other. They just feel like it's just not worth the time, and even though they're being thrown the money, they don't want to do it.
Interesting.
So, it came out in an interview this week, the bassist John Ilsley, who gave that information. So, yeah, sadly, if you are a Dire Straits fan, you're not
going to see
no
them.
new music or no
Which is a
reunion.
shame, but I can understand as well. Sometimes they've either got to be committed to it, or if their heart's not in
That's
it.
it. And I mean,
happen.
you know, musicians, they're artists, right? So you have to have that inspiration and that muse element to actually want to put something together.
And what's happening with Go West?
So Go West, I'm actually very excited about this one. Go West and Nick Kershaw are coming back
to
Australia and Perth. They're doing a co-headline tour in March next year. So they're going to start in Adelaide and they're going to finish it off in Perth
That's on
March
the
13th.
5th, they start and then end on
And
March
then
13th.
13th,
So
yeah.
it's quite a quick tour, isn't it?
It is a little bit of a quick tour. I feel like it's almost like back to back shows around the country. And they'll obviously be playing all their like headlines and things like that. But then the last time they came was in 2020, just before we all faced the pandemic and the lockdowns. So.
Well, let's hope there's some more news on that one. Maybe they'll extend, you never know. But that's happening from March the 5th to the March 13th. Of course, Go West and Nick Kershaw heading to Australia.
Yes.
More details next year. Now, Macklemore. I like how you say that. Macklemore's heading to Australia as well.
He's also heading to Australia. So he has announced he will be touring. He was a headliner for R&B Fridays Live last year. He's coming in May next year. So
he's
if you
pretty
are
big, isn't he? He's very popular.
Massive. He hasn't had the same success in recent years as he did in the early 2010s, mid 2000s with Thrift Shop Downtown, things like that.
Okay.
But he still puts out a lot of music. He's still got the popular fans there. I mean, Can't Hold Us is such a huge track as
And
well.
as you say, he does gigs for all ages as well, which is amazing too, which is great, which is unusual for artists.
That's
either
it.
adult or
He's
kids.
gone through his issues as well. So you know, he has been dealing with stuff himself, and he's kind of come out of that now. And so now what we're going to see is him touring. So if you are a Macklemore fan, those tickets are going on sale next week.
Thank you very much. And we're going straight into Remember This, I believe.
Yes, I thought we would end the year with something super cheesy. Europop in the 90s and Eurodance in the 90s was huge. So do you remember DJ Bobo?
I do, unfortunately.
Do you know what? I didn't realise how massive he was. He had a couple of hits that normally were probably in your top 20 for video hits and rage here in Australia. This one is Somebody Dance With Me, which was the first one in 1993 that came out. It peaked at number 13
Isn't
on
it
the
terrible when you
chart.
can actually remember the video clip as well as the song?
Well, there's this one, and then he followed it up with There's a Party and Love Is All Around in 1995. But he has been massive and he's huge in Europe.
Do you know the
especially.
words to this song? You know when you, all your life, you think there's, I thought it was Somebody's Watching Me.
That's Rockwell.
Yes, but
Yes.
it's a completely different song.
It's a totally different
And then I
song.
listened to it and I said, no, this is a different song. But anyway, I do remember DJ Bobo.
Yes, so
And,
I thought, yes.
Any chance of them coming back?
Do you know what? With all the 90s dance tours that they have, don't
never-
be surprised. He
don't
might
say
end
no.
up on one of those bills. If there's something like the Venga Boys earlier this year that had Entrance and Wigfield and things like that on the bill, then quite possibly. It would never be a show on his own. I just, from a monetary perspective, you wouldn't make that back. But if you did it as a bit of a little festival or a multi-artist show at, like, say, Metro City, I think you definitely get something there.
I saw a couple of images the other day of a couple of the Spice Girls, Beckham and also Mel's been on Masked Singer. Do you reckon they'll ever come back? Do you reckon they'll ever form and actually
There's
come back
talk
and take it
that
serious?
they will do a reunion, but it really comes down to Victoria, and Victoria's the one that's holding out. She just doesn't want to.
No, look, she doesn't need the
just doesn't
money.
need
The
it.
others will probably love to do it.
She's got her label. She's got the fashion design.
And her
Mel
husband.
C was in Sydney DJing just a couple of days ago
Yes.
as well, so she's doing the DJ thing. Jerry's married to Chris Horner from F1 and Red Bull Racing. So, yeah, they've all gone on to do other things. And Emma, I have no idea what she's doing.
It's
these
amazing
days.
because people like Atomic Kitten, I'd love to see whatever happened to them. Why don't they come
Yeah,
back?
like and I think we're getting to that stage now where they are all now starting to, I mean, you've got S Club, they're doing things.
S Club.
Wouldn't surprise me
Yep.
if I think for Atomic Kitten it's going to be Kerry Katona. She has to come on board,
Yes.
and you know she's gone through her own situation.
Peter
and
Andre
issues
was
as
on
well.
something the other day and I thought, oh, he's coming back. I think he was back in Australia.
He's a didn't he do Masked Singer once, or he wanted to do
I think
Masked
he
Singer?
does.
Yeah.
I don't think he did Australia.
No,
he did one overseas.
he did something else.
And a lot of people have thought he was part of the one that was running here in Australia on Channel 10.
Yeah.
But he wasn't, obviously. But
Yeah.
it's interesting his name keeps dropping by. So
Yeah.
I think
he does a renovation show and he
Yes.
signs his name on the doorframe for
Peter Andre.
everything. I'll be wiping that. I was like,
There you go. Well, you never know. Next year's a brand new year, 2024.
see what happens.
Watch that space. What's happening with the top three? Let's have a look. Let's see what's popular
I really
and
didn't
not
want to
popular.
end the year with this.
These
but-
three songs?
Yeah, well, yeah. So
Let's have a look.
Taylor Swift coming in at number 3, Say Don't Go. Taylor Swift at number 2, Now That We Don't Talk. And at number 1, lo and behold, Taylor Swift is it over now.
It is, Taylor. It is over. No more
Please.
songs. I reckon if it was top 4, there'd be
Look,
Taylor
I
Swift.
like Cruel Summer. I'm a little...
I like ABBA, but that doesn't make any
Yeah,
difference. I don't seem to see any ABBA news on your segment. But that's okay. Maybe ABBA will reunite by 2024.
I don't know. Maybe, well, now that, you know, you can slide into Bjorn's DMs, maybe,
Well,
you know, give him a heads up, invite him on the
rumour
show.
is they are going to release another album. They enjoyed being together.
Yeah.
They didn't kill each other. The apartment apparently is exactly the same as when she was
That's
happy
good.
about that, which is good. And they have still got faith in themselves. And look, I'd love to see them come back and do another album. But I must admit, from the album that they released, Voyage, I thought there was only 2 or 3 songs that I actually liked, which is weird for ABBA, because normally when I have an album that's ABBA, I love all the album.
Yeah.
The new stuff wasn't quite as poppy and as ABBA-y, if that's the word.
No. And it'd be interesting to see as well with AI and how, like, the Beatles used AI for theirs.
Correct.
Could we see that in something that they're doing?
AI. What it can be a good thing and a bad thing.
Well, I think next year we'll see
and
possibly
using
a
it
lot
more.
more music news featuring AI being used in songs.
Demels, if people want more information about you or your social media business, how do we get a hold of you?
They can go to demelsaleonard.com or dlsocial.com.au.
We are very, very special today. We feel special because Marianne Vanderhurst has flown all the way from Melbourne to be with us today for our last show. She's singing an original song and it's called Don't Take My Heart. And I say don't take my studio either. But thank you, Marianne. Here she is centre stage performing.
Your kisses, your sweetness, it makes me feel alive. Without you here, my life is a mess. So please, honey, don't leave me. You can take everything I have, but please don't take my heart. I'm talking about you, 'cause you are my heart. You are my heart. See it in your eyes that you wanna live my side. Oh, please don't do this. I can't live without your love. Without you here, my life is a mess. So please, honey, don't leave me. You can take everything I have, but please don't take my heart.
Marianne van der Hurst, what a wonderful performer, and thank you for flying over to Perth. Thank you to Jetstar for flying her over too, which she paid for. Jetstar, help her out next time. And we'll see you at the end of the show. Thank you very, very much, Marianne. And Marianne's one of those sort of people. Belinda, welcome, by the way.
you.
Belinda
Thank you,
Cipriano,
Brett.
talking what's on Perth. It's amazing how many people work on this show and do an amazing job. 23 years we've been working on this
Yeah.
show, and a lot more than that if you add in all the preparation and that.
Yeah.
So people like that fly over from Melbourne, we really appreciate
And her
them.
voice is incredible. And Fred,
She's
I'll just say
beautiful.
this. I was still at uni when you were at the studios of ECU. I was doing the weather and you
Yep.
were doing the couch. So
Yep.
it's a credit to you and what you've done in this community for
Do you know
local
what?
artists.
If you love what you do, you do it. And
Yeah.
look, we've all loved what we do. We're
Yeah.
here on the weekends. We
Yeah.
take up our time doing this, and it's important. And we hope that governments also see what
Yeah,
we do as
absolutely. They should be
important.
taking notice. You've done such an incredible job over the decades.
Thank you.
And all these incredible staff behind the scenes as well.
We've had an amazing crew, and
Yep.
we still do, and we just absolutely love having them here.
Yep.
And I think they love being with us as well.
Yeah.
And Sonia's saying you've just used up a minute of my time. But let's get straight into the segments today. What are we starting with today? Are we starting with Monet in Paris?
So Monet in Paris opens on November 16 and it runs until February 4. So it invites guests to step back in time into the dazzling world of the 19th century Paris, where Monet and Impressionist masters led an unprecedented period of cultural and artistic
Beautiful.
flourishing. Now, I'm heading to this one on Tuesday night. I'm super excited. You're going to see an epic display of light, sound, fragrance, and colour. So I think
Looks
this is a
amazing.
good one for the entire family. I do believe it's the same people that bought us Van Gogh Live.
Oh, okay.
Don't quote me on that, but I do believe it is. Tickets start at $54 for children and $69
That's
for
not
adult.
bad.
Yeah, I
That's
think
good.
I mean, you don't get this sort of thing often in Perth, so if you get the chance to see it, definitely go and check it out. It's definitely one I am excited about.
Now, the next one's interesting as well. The Nutcracker's
The
back.
Nutcracker. So the Nutcracker, for me, that is Christmas. When I go to his match, or previously her match, it is all about the Nutcracker. It is such a beautiful, beautiful production, and it ignites the magic
It is
of Christmas.
beautiful.
So obviously you join Clara. She ventures into the winter wonderland and encounters the Nutcracker Soldier, Sugar Plum Fairy and the Evil Rat King. This is choreographed by Jane Smulders, Sandy De La Salle Scanella and Aurelian Scanella. He's an icon of WA ballet. And obviously it is to Tchaikovsky's much classical score. It's from November 17 until December 10 at his Madge. Tickets start as low as $32. I think that's brilliant and goes all the way up to $150.
Are you coming back next year?
I will.
Good, because if you leave me now, you take away the biggest part of me. Chicago.
Chicago.
But it's
I
not
was gonna
the.
go,
No, I was just
all
singing
that
Chicago.
jazz, da,
Yeah, this is the
da,
different
da,
Chicago. But
da, da,
hey,
da, da,
you don't
da.
get much opportunity to sing on this show.
Yeah, I know, right?
Even if
Exactly.
you're wrong.
Now, I'm excited about this
Yeah.
one. I love Chicago, and it is the longest running musical on
It's
Broadway.
going to be fantastic.
Are you going?
I am going.
Oh my goodness, we'll be there. We'll
Yes,
be there
I'll probably
together.
see you there unless
so
I avoid
excited,
you.
yes. From November 21, it stars Anthony Warlow, the
Yes.
legend, as Billy
Oh,
Flynn,
good.
Zoe Ventura of. Yeah, so as Velma Kelly. Now, where's Zoe Ventura from? Packed to the Rafters.
Yes.
That's where I was going. Lucy Maunder as Roxy Hart. That's a huge part. And our very own Peter Rosethorn as Amos Hart.
He will be fantastic.
He will be
in this.
hilarious. I think he'll be great.
He actually said in an interview he prefers acting to doing comedy, and he's
Yeah.
better at it.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting to see him in this role.
He'll always
Peter.
be. What was his character at?
Kath and Kim,
yeah,
he used
what
to
was
play.
that?
What was Kel?
Gosh.
No.
No, it wasn't Kel. It was someone.
Adrian will tell us in the control
Yeah, I
room.
know he will. What
Kath,
was
he
it?
was Kath and
He
Kim's
was
son-in-law.
Kim's.
Yes, the
he
husband.
was Kim's husband. I forget what was. It wasn't. I want to say Poda, but that was the other guy. No.
He was just a terrible husband.
Anyway, so it'd be a crime if you miss it.
Yep.
So from November 21 to December 17, short season, $69.90, and tickets go all the way up to $200. Visit the link on your screen.
And I believe there's a book coming out by a really famous
Far
lady
out.
from
I know,
Spearwood.
cheeky plug from me. Goodness me.
Tell
how
us
cheeky.
about it.
It's
Take the
last one.
opportunity.
Yeah, it's the last one for the year. So I am doing a book presentation at Spearwood Library on November 25 from 10:30am with the City of Coburn. So I will be talking about my second book, which is, of course,
And
Frankie.
please support her.
Yeah, The Adventures of Frankie and His Fantabulous Football, which is inspired by my soccer playing dad. So
Exactly.
there'll be a story time, we'll do activities, it is free entry, and I'd love to see all the kiddies down there in Coburn come
Put it in your diary,
Yeah.
November 25th
Yeah,
at the Spearwood Library.
Absolutely.
And it's going to be at 10:30 a.m.
10:30 a.m. So
Beautiful.
it's an hour. It'd be fun. A lot of fun. We'll
And
have
where
a lot
can
of fun
people get
out
the
there.
book from if they want to buy
So
it?
they can buy it from my website, belindasipriano.com.
Which
so
will give you the
great,
details.
great Christmas present, and I will be selling books on the day as well,
Beautiful.
which is great.
So make sure you bring some cash.
Yeah.
Pride Fest 23 is happening.
Of
The parade
course.
is on again.
Yeah, on November 25 as well. So they're taking to the streets from 6 p.m. to 12 a.m. The Glitter Pack Parade will start at Russell Square before making its way through the streets of Northbridge. There'll be music, entertainment dotted across multiple stages, and of course, lots of colour, smiles, music, dancing, all that we come to expect from the incredible
Amazing.
Pride Fest. It's so much fun, such a good time. So very
We should do a
fun event.
couch float.
Oh my God, we should.
Could you imagine you and I in our G-strings? I probably can imagine. Let's forget it.
Guys, crew, we in?
You and I with microphones, maybe a little bit of a boom
Oh my
box.
God, we could do
we
do
could
hosting
sing.
from the float.
We
and
could sing.
Yeah,
We'd
we
never
could
have to do
that.
TV again, and not that we'd have any choice after that. Love Actually, live
Again,
in
like the
concert.
Nutcracker, Love Actually, to me, is Christmas. As soon as I know that Love Actually is on the telly, that's it. I know it's Christmas time.
It is a great movie.
Oh, it's my favourite Christmas movie of all time. I know that's controversial. A lot of people don't like it. What's
So
your
how do-
favourite Christmas movie?
I always like the one with Macaulay Culkin in.
Oh, okay, so Home Alone.
Home
Yeah,
Alone,
yeah,
and
that's a good one.
and I used to love John Candy as well.
Yeah, oh, yeah, fun.
The one is it Trains, Planes, and Automobiles. You know where they both get they can't fly home, and he meets the guy with the white hair.
I don't
What's his name?
remember that one.
Anyway.
Yeah, I don't remember that
And they
one.
go the wrong way, and then he gets home for Christmas, and he's lonely. His wife's passed away, but he doesn't tell anyone. Very sad movie. That's why I love it.
That's why we don't watch that.
Yes.
You've got to watch things like The Holiday and this one, Love Actually, which is
Yes.
coming to the Perth Convention Centre and Exhibition Centre on December 16. So basically, they're playing the movie on a projector, and they've also got an orchestra playing the hits
What a
from
great
the movie.
idea.
It is. Last year it sold out, and I went on just before I came on the show today, Fred, to have a look at how many tickets were on sale. There's not many. This thing sells out all the time because the movie is so popular. So if you want to get tickets, I would suggest
And
getting
there's
on
only
there now.
one show, 16th
one
of
show.
December.
That's it. Tickets start at $60 and you can get them from Ticketek.
And let's have a look at the final one, Juliet.
And Juliet. I saw this one in May in Melbourne, and obviously it's
Good.
conquered Broadway. Oh my God, is it good? Conquered Broadway, the West End, Melbourne, and now
Yep.
it's coming to Crown Theatre on December 30, and it's only here for 6 weeks. It is so much fun. It basically tells the tale if Juliet did not pass. So if Juliet did not die, so it tells her story afterwards. Sorry guys
creative
if I gave
angle.
away the whole thing, but basically it tells it from her perspective. It's a lot of fun, very much girl power. There's incredible pop songs that are in the actual show. So you've got Backstreet Boys, Katy Perry.
good
I
music.
was dancing the entire time. Absolutely loved it. One of my favourites. It features Casey Donovan.
Oh,
She's
Rob
an absolute
Mills.
just superstar in this, and Rob Mills is also in it as well. So I think this is not one to miss at all. It closes February 8, opens December 30. Tickets start at $89.90 and again go up to $200.
Fantastic. Now, if
What's
people want to
happening?
buy your book or find
Yeah.
out more,
belindasipriano.com. And please, if you have any kiddies in the Coburn area, Freo area,
Bring them
come and
on.
see me November 25.
10:30
Spearwood Library.
a.m. at the
10:30
library.
a.m. Come and support your local
congratulations
artists.
with the book.
Thank
Best
you so
of luck
much.
for your fantastic book. And thank you for being on the show this year.
Thank
You've
you
been
for having
wonderful
me.
inspiration. We look forward to having you back again next year.
Absolutely.
Even if it's just a crate, sitting on a crate in my
We'll just do it in my
kitchen.
backyard.
Yeah,
We'll do it
one
in the
week in
backyard.
Spearwood,
yeah,
one week in
we'll just take
Bradman.
it. We'll take it on the road. Like
Good
I
on you.
said.
Belinda Cipriano, always fantastic. We always try and have some fun. We didn't get time to sing today,
didn't sing.
unfortunately.
Our last show we didn't sing.
Close your eyes.
And
ooh.
miss you
Tomorrow I'll kiss you. Remember I'll always be true. This is where you're supposed to cut the show and go to a break.
And then-
We're talking to the new breakfast crew from 6IX, Nat and Westo, next. And remember while I'm away, I'll ride home every day. And I'll sing. Have fun. Welcome back to the couch. Always nice to have your company. Thanks for being on our last show today. Can I just say, This lady has been in my life for many, many years, unfortunately, but she's still in it. But we love having her here, and she's brought her, I would say, partner in crime now. It is, of course, the new 6IX breakfast, the classic breakfast. They've got a new team. Nat Foster and, of course, Craig Weston, or Nat and Westo. Welcome to the couch.
Thank you.
Nice to have you both in our studio.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah, it's good to be here. It's good I haven't seen you for a while.
Yes, I've met Craig at 6IX, 6PR. I'm sorry about that. 6PR.
Over the years, you know.
Yeah, we've known you through 92.9. I've known you through other commercial stations.
Well, we met at 94.
Yeah.
That's right.
Back in the days
days
at Mix, weren't we?
Yeah.
And he was Spaghetti Western back then. I called you Spaghetti Western. Well, I called you lots of things, but nothing to your face. But... Oh, now I've just told you. Okay, there we go.
So, what's different? I mean, why do people need to tune into your brekkie show? What are they going to get served up for breakfast when they listen?
This. Right? What else do you want? I'm this.
Well, what if you're on a diet?
Well, I
Isn't it a bit
will
too
eat
much
the
buffet?
cookies for you. So send in... we are having a buffet tomorrow morning. We're doing charcuterie board.
Really?
It's a tradition now.
Yeah.
You did it on day one.
Yeah,
I saw
first day.
this, the salami, the cold meat's like an Italian
because
buffet.
we both love cheeses too. I know it's hard to tell.
Little bit of cheeses.
But the first day in,
Yeah.
you just had this. It was like an
Banquet.
orgy of food.
Yes,
Yeah.
I did see it on
And I
Instagram.
felt so sick because I made a point to eat everything that was provided.
It was possibly a little bit of overkill, but somehow that's now become, a monthly tradition. So
Don't expect it from me because I'm more frugal.
Now-
So I'll just go to the cheap section.
When can we
word.
tune
It's
into
like
your
our show.
breakfast show? Please, Craig, tell me.
5:30 till 9.
Now, we can expect to hear both of you for that many hours?
Well, a little bit
Yeah.
from him.
Yeah.
Mostly from me because nobody can shut me up.
What's the magic of radio? Well, I mean, I've never sort of asked you, what works in radio? What do you think works in radio and what's needed out there? Because radio's changed over the years since we've all been involved. In some ways, I think it's not as good as it used to be. So what do you think the magic of radio is, Nat, first?
I just think just being yourself. So people who know me know that I'm exactly the same on air, although there's probably a few more blue words off air.
Yeah.
But they know that's me. So if you meet me in the street, that's the same person as talking on the radio. So there's no difference other than the blue language.
It's a lot easier to remember who you are when you be yourself, I think, as well, which I find.
There's no rubbish. I don't put a voice on. I mean, occasionally if I'm doing accents, if it's an accent
Yes.
day, I'll do it. To be sure, potato, 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 that's Irish day.
Fair enough.
But yes, just being yourself and having a real relationship with someone.
Yep.
So I can't fake those things.
Westo, what do you reckon the magic of radio is? What works?
The magic of radio or the magic of us in particular?
As a team, what will work that hasn't worked on other radio stations? What are you doing that's different, and what makes radio work? You've been in radio a long time. What do you believe the ingredients of a good brekkie show or show is?
I think from our perspective, the fact that we have a pre-existing relationship, so even though we didn't work on air together, we know each other, we'd worked together in the same building, got along really well, shared a lot of things in common, and so when we've come into this, we've just gone, well, look, let's just talk to each other like we normally would without the blue words. That's particularly for Nat. And try to have fun. Because, I think it's one of the reasons why Hamish and Andy were so successful nationally.
Nice.
And they're really the only network show that has worked in Perth. And I think the secret to their success was just, they're funny guys, but they weren't always trying to be funny, but they were fun. They were two mates taking the mickey out of each other, having a laugh, and as you listened to it, you felt like you were a part of the conversation. They
Correct.
weren't
I
talking at
agree.
you or anything like that. So I think
People have said that, haven't they? It's like you're sitting in the room and they're just having a conversation with us. We're self-deprecating. I mean, at the end of the day, a lot of people...
It's all about being real, isn't it?
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
about being real. At the end of the day, we're lucky enough to be talking into a microphone for a job.
I
We're
agree.
not digging ditches. It's not rocket science, and people are like lauding people in radio and TV. We're lucky to be there. At the
I
end of the
agree
day,
with you.
just be thankful and just be yourself, be genuine.
I think that's what I like about your show, and I've listened to do my research, of course, and listened in, and I think one thing I like about you two, or one of the main things, is that when you're on air, it's as if you've caught up and you're telling us about what you did last night, what you're doing, what you believe in, what you like, what you don't like. It's very real radio, and I think that's been missing from a lot of the radio stations. It's either all about music And I know 6IX has got amazing music. I do love classic
Yeah.
hits, and you've got it. But you've also got a mix of real people
Yeah.
and telling their story. And it's not you come in and you pre-prepare a story to tell. It's all about what did you get up to, and you make fun of each other.
Oh, absolutely. And it's all real stuff that's happened too. So none of it's rubbish. Like people say that, you know, they bump into my mum or
Yeah.
Chris and they'll go, did that really happen? And they're like, it really happened.
Yeah,
So
really.
there's no secrets in relationships and my mother and stuff.
Yep.
If you give me material, I'm sorry, I'm going to be taking that to work and using
You're going to use. I have heard you, the unofficial producer there, your mum. Poor woman. I'm
Yes.
amazed she hasn't won a crack of the a bit of the money that you're getting because she's.
Well, that's it. We don't get any money. So.
Well, that's a good point too. What can we expect to hear? What's the makeup of your breakfast show? Now you're on from 5:30 to 9.
Yeah.
So don't expect anything between 5:30 and 6 because we're just waking up.
Yep.
We always say don't expect anything and then you won't
Yep.
be disappointed.
That's when some of the
You've got
best moments happen,
competition.
is
Yeah,
when
actually
we don't
is.
know what we're doing. Yeah, there's the competitions and that sort of stuff. I mean, it's early days. We've only done 4 weeks. So I think...
It is early days.
Yeah, we're probably still operating the way that it was prior to me arriving, and we'll probably see the year out, and then we'll maybe look at making some changes. But, you know, like, it doesn't matter if you're the top of town, you've got a massive budget, there's still limitations on what you can and can't do.
Correct.
Obviously, that's not the end of town that we're in, but, you know...
We're like in the Bronx section.
You know, we're
We wear the
realistic
white
about
trash
that.
lips.
The Centrelink of radio.
Yeah. I think, you know, more of the same, and that'll evolve as you
Yeah.
work with each other and you sort of grow. But yeah, we'd like to be sort of getting out.
I guess you're trying things. You're trying
Yeah.
something new. You're listening to your audience. You're having people write to you, comment on Instagram, what they like, what they don't like, on Facebook as well. And you can encourage it as well, don't you?
Oh, yeah.
If people want to see something on radio or hear something on radio, they get in touch with you. I love the fact that you're local. That's really important to me that you're here in Perth. You know, unlike some shows that are national shows and they're not made here, you guys are. You're in, do we call it Osborne Park or Balcatta?
Osborne Park.
It is
Osborne Park, yeah, definitely.
I always say Balcatta, but Osborne Park, 6IX, 1080 AM, 1057 FM. And the best way to do it is get one of those Google players and
Yes.
go, hey, Google, play 6IX.
Yes.
And it sounds incredible. And in my car, I listen to you because I've got one of those digital
The DABs,
radios.
yep.
Digital is amazing.
It's crystal, yeah.
And I'm looking forward to having you as part of my breakfast to wake up in the morning too. And then I turn you off as soon as I finish eating my breakfast.
A lot of men turn me off. But yeah, so every morning, let me know when you're listening. I'll come and give you a big cuddle. We'll give you a cuddle sandwich, won't we? We'll
Thank
give
you
you
very
a
much.
a Nat and West Oak
Do you want to do that
sandwich.
now?
Shall we?
I don't know if we're...
Have you got,
No, wait.
do we have a jingle? Yeah, have you got a little jingle for you too? And I don't mean jingle around. I mean a jingle, a little
I thought you were
song.
talking about my
I
exercise
thought
routine.
you were going to say something.
Yes, the very, you know, the traditional 6IX, you know,
Is it
the classic.
Forever
Correct.
Classic,
Yes.
Nat and
West,
Westo?
no, we
So-
haven't done that. It doesn't
Oh.
quite go.
Yeah, the syllables kind of mucked it
Yeah.
up, so we
Yeah.
just had to. It's the classic breakfast on 6IX.
Oh,
we,
yeah.
we just had to run with
It's a
that.
cutback there as well, I guess.
You know, the extra syllable broke the budget,
Yep.
so we couldn't go ahead with that. Unfortunately,
Craig, is it nice to be back in radio, in breakfast radio? I know you've
It
done
is.
so many different shifts.
Yeah, well, I did have that little gap out when I went and sort of into the real world, and then came back to Triple M. So across the years, one way or another, I've been on every commercial station in Perth and enjoyed every one for different reasons. But it's particularly nice to be back on a show. And as I said, like, we get along really well, and we always did.
But
and so that made
give
it
it
easy.
time. Give it time.
Give it
Things
time,
will
yeah.
change.
Well, it's like every relationship, isn't it?
It
You know,
is.
it's like, it doesn't matter if it's
It's
work or, you know, a
We've been in the
romantic
honeymoon.
relationship or family.
We love each other.
You,
But ultimately,
now.
we've been mates for 20 odd years.
yeah, yeah.
So
But it is really good to be back. It was nice to get back into full-time radio, but it's particularly nice to be on a show. You've got that little bit of room to move,
Yep.
have a chat about something. If there's a laugh in it, great. It's not always going to be. You might just be telling a story and asking for an opinion on it.
Now, are you working through summer or are you having a break?
I think we're having a break of
I think
some
we're having a
description.
break. I think we're working up pretty much up to Christmas, aren't we?
Yeah, at this
So
stage,
you're
I
doing
think
a bit of an extended
We
programming.
always do, because
Nat-
because we don't want to be away from our listeners for too long.
I don't blame
they
you.
might switch.
Nat Westo, look at camera 2 over here and tell your audience where they can catch you at what time, and give them a few nice words why they should listen to you.
Please listen to us, and you can have my firstborn child. That'll be great. You can listen to us Monday to Friday, 5:30 to 9. By the way, I'm not at that age of actually being able to produce children anymore. You might be okay.
I was going to say, Nat,
but
it's easy for
5:30
Nat
to
to
9.
make that promise. I do have a child, and I'm sorry, I love him, and you can't have him.
I'm dried up like a prune.
But, yeah.
But 5:30 to 9, 6IX.
Thank you to
And
both
there's the
of
new
you.
app as well. So you can go to the App Store, put 6IX, and you can listen to us on the app.
Good luck. All the best for your fantastic
telling
career
him
together.
good luck?
Both of you. Both of you.
Trust me,
Not that you need it.
I
but
will need it.
6IX is where you'll find them. They are the classic breakfast, of course. Nat and Westo. 6ix.com.au as well as their website. Thank you for coming in today. All the best for Christmas. We'll see you next year.
Yep.
Too.
Hopefully we'll have them on Bitchin next year too.
yeah,
A
we
little
can
bit of
do a
fun. We'll take a break on the couch. Back after this on our final show. Welcome back to our final show for the year here on the couch. Time to talk customer service, as always, with our expert, Chris Moyer. With him is our very own customer service question expert, Nisha Seth.
Thank you so much, Fred. As 2023 draws to a close, it's very exciting. We've been talking to this man to my right, Chris Moyer, about all things customer service.
It's always good to be back, Nisha, and we say this every year. It's a reminder to start saying Merry Christmas this early. So would it be wrong if I said Merry Christmas already?
Not at all.
No,
Thank you, Chris.
there we
Merry
go. In the
Christmas to you
spirit, I don't
too.
have my Christmas hat, but yeah, very excited about the Christmas season approaching, and it's always good to talk about service at this time of year as well.
Absolutely. We've got lots of expectations around Christmas for service, but we have been talking about your book, All in Culture, for the whole year.
We have been.
So that's been exciting.
That's
so
it. We've
it's
got
8
so much.
segments on your book.
We have. There's a lot in it, and
There is,
that's why
yes.
it's been so nice to sit alongside you again, but specifically this year to sit alongside you to talk about the book in so much detail. I put a lot of effort into it, and it's just great to be able to chat about it.
Yeah, likewise. And so I guess to kick off for this final segment for 2023, let's start quite practical. What are some day-to-day things that leaders can do to start to improve customer service in their organisation?
Yeah, there's one thing that they can do, and they're actually already doing it technically, and that is, and I'll tell you why they're already doing it, but they need to be a bit more in tune with how their staff are speaking to customers or interacting with customers, should I say. So what I mean by they're already doing this is I often do get a phone call from a leader or have a meeting with a leader, and they look at me, in the eyes, and they say, Chris, you won't believe what I heard happen the other day, or you won't believe what I'm hearing happen on a regular basis, or it might even be something like, my office has been outside this call centre, for instance, for 15 years, and only the other day I heard them say this and I couldn't believe it. And that's the interesting thing, that leaders get to this point where they start tuning in to the way that their staff are speaking to their customers, and they often find out that it's a huge shock. There are some things that they're certainly not happy with. So that's the first thing, is just to be a bit more in tune with what's happening on the front line.
Keep your ear to the ground.
Definitely.
Yeah, so important. And I'm wondering, can it be hard to see areas where service needs to be improved? So are there illusions maybe that the impression service is better than it is?
Yeah, and I'm like jumping into to answer that, because that's exactly
You're excited about this one.
exactly, because that's the problem. When they're working, particularly leaders, their staff, generally speaking, let's be honest, they're functionally really good at their jobs. So what that means is they've been trained appropriately, they know what to physically do or mentally do
So
as
the
part of their
illusion?
job. That's the illusion. So they're functionally working hard, they're operating things as they should, they're ticking the boxes as they should. But the question is, how are they, and I don't want to get too philosophical this time of year, but how are they being whilst they are doing their jobs? And that's what often happens, that we've got people that are functionally great at their jobs. The leaders know that, so they kind of don't turn a blind eye, but they sort of, it gives the illusion that they're working really well. And then all of a sudden, like what you asked earlier, the leader will listen in and go, actually, hang on a second. They might be doing the right thing, but maybe they could do it in a better way.
You know, you should collaborate. We had the illusionists in a couple of weeks
yeah,
ago, the magicians. That was quite interesting.
I saw them
as
on
well.
the way out, so we should talk about how staff. Well, that's the thing. And who would have thought that the staff's illusion can be to just do your job functionally well, so that the service stuff just gets ignored or
stay off
forgotten
the
about.
radar, right? As well.
Exactly.
So when you get maybe a complex situation, that individual who might be fantastic 90% of the time may not dig as deep.
That's
perhaps.
right. And how it's handled, that's when
Yeah.
they're exposed effectively.
Yeah. Now, with your book as well, something you talk about is about expectations staff have over their customers. Can you explain this a little bit more?
Yeah, so when we think about customer service, and I think we've talked about this many times on the show, we always talk about how customers have high expectations, which is, you've heard that before,
Yes,
right?
yes.
Customers have expectations. But what if I was to suggest that the staff are the ones that have really high expectations over their customers?
That's interesting, isn't it?
I honestly think it is the opposite way. So, for instance, the staff are the ones that have expectations on how customers should behave, how they should act, how they should respond, what they should do, what they should even know. And that's the key thing, that when you've got staff who are trained in functionally what to do, in their knowledge,
Right.
and a customer doesn't have that knowledge, the way they can treat them can be quite, it can be quite awful. So the actual, what I would almost say is that not only do the staff have too high expectations over their customers, I think they just sometimes care a little too much.
Yeah.
They care too much that it hurts. So often, and this has been a huge, I've been researching this for a number of years, we often think of poor service as being hand in hand with staff that just don't care. I mean, you may have heard that before, that we think, our staff don't care, so they don't serve well. It's actually not the case. Staff do care, they just care too much. They care about the rules, they care about the regulations, they care about everything being done the way they were taught. They care so much that sometimes then they can be very unrealistic with what they expect on the other side, which is quite sad.
Well, and people have different drivers, so I think it's great that you're looking at both perspectives.
Exactly.
Because I guess aligning those then in the training is really important.
That's the hard
as well.
part.
Yeah. So look, in terms of customers that don't act the way a staff member expects them to, what happens here?
All right, so there's something pretty bad that comes out, and it's this thing called they moralise their customers. Now, moralising, it's an interesting word. A lot of people don't necessarily know what it means. They often think that moralising is the opposite of demoralising, which is not the case.
Okay.
Demoralising means obviously to put someone down or to make someone lose confidence and hope when you demoralise someone. So often people say, well, moralising must be to lift them up. Wrong. It's actually not true. The moralising is actually when you talk down to somebody with an unfounded air of superiority. So they are superior because they've been trained and they're the staff members. And when they talk to customers, they talk in a very downward way. They would say things generally that start with the words, you should. So you should have, you should have known, you should know, those sorts of things.
How insightful do you think people like that are in general?
Well, the funny thing is they do it because they think that they're educating. They think that, as a staff member, it's my role to educate a customer, which in part is true, but the way in which you do it, I think moralising is only saved for parents and grandparents. You can imagine your parent or my parents saying, you should have done this, you should be doing that. It's something that they can teach you because your parents are imparting their morals onto you, or to helping you instill morals. When it comes to service, there's no place for moralising.
I was going to say where I come across this as a psychologist is when you go into organisations and you train on emotional intelligence.
Yes.
You train about, do you have emotional insight? You can therefore self-manage, you can therefore regulate and relate to others, and you can manage relationships.
It goes so hand in
interesting, isn't
hand
it?
with EI, definitely.
Yeah. So Chris, nearly the end of 2023. What's in store for you?
For the rest of this year.
Yeah, rest of this year, 2024.
It's really, I mean, I was
Yeah.
just thinking, the year is coming to a blur. Organisations, and I know that my email is going to be up on the screen soon. When people reach out to me, they love getting their team together, particularly toward the end of the year. And there it is right now. A bit late for this year, but you can reach out at chris@chrissmoyer.com, and that's the best place to get me in to speak to staff at an end of year event or a kick-off event for 2024.
I was going to say, a
That's
great
always the
way to
plan.
start the year
Yeah.
as well is to get Chris in and to really talk about what, like a roadmap for the whole of 2024 as well. Strategic as well,
And
operational.
correct, and set service as a focus theme for the year ahead. There's definitely a lot we can focus on. So,
Well, Chris, hopefully we're in a brand new studio next year and we look forward to having you back on board.
absolutely,
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas to you too, and to all the viewers out there. Can't wait to see you all next year.
Wonderful. And one more time, where do we go to find out more about you?
Oh, and again, that's right. If you missed that, it's chris@chrissmoyer.com, and Fred is passing me a copy of my book, All in Culture, which I would love to share with you as well. So get in touch for that as well, and can't wait to share this into 2024 and beyond as well.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Chris. Now, of course, if you've missed any of that, you can go to thecouch.com.au. Otherwise, we'll look forward to seeing Chris in 2024. And it's back to you, Fred.
Thank you, Nisha, and thanks for all your hard work this year. If I forget to, but I won't forget to say it later on. Chris, a couple of quick questions for you, as we've got the time today being our last show. Advice to Optus. If you were helping them with their customer service, just briefly or quickly, where did they fall over in because their publicity, or should I say their communication with the public was terrible?
I think from a marketing perspective, they're saying the right things, but again, the word sorry is very, very overused. So I think it's a bit too easy to say. I think I'm not saying they underestimate how much people rely on their phone or telecommunication service, but compensation, and I know we could talk about compensation.
It was very
as a whole
minor
segment,
compared to what happened.
But and again, there's sometimes money back and freebies devalue service as well. So I think there's an important thing that you've got to look at when it comes to giving things away. But we know that 200 gigabytes of data is sort of an easy fix, but it's not necessarily the right.
Yeah, look,
fix.
I thought they should have probably given them $50 credit for the rest of the year or something that was a bit tangible, except data that they lost on the day didn't work anyway is not really valuable to people.
Exactly.
Qantas, I know that you've got a soft spot for Qantas, having worked with them.
Yes.
The year, wrap it up for me in a way of an expert customer service way. Where did they go wrong this year? Maybe what help would you give them for the future? What advice?
Okay, definitely. I think when they look at resetting the culture, they need to have a strong service focus. They've lost a lot of people, long-serving staff over the years. The brand's changed. We've got customers, the expectations changing post-COVID. They really need to reset, and that's why I've said, and I've looked at the camera, I've said, hey, I want to come and work for you, Qantas, because really the things that we talk about to create an all-in service culture, it's something that the business
Do you want to
needs.
just tell Qantas you want to work with them through this camera now?
Through this camera. Qantas, I would love to work with you. Give me a call. I can't wait. I've worked with you before, but I want to work with you again.
Need to send them a copy.
And this
Yeah,
time, you'll pay them a bit more money
That's
for
it.
it too.
Yeah.
Hey, Chris, the AGM for Qantas was terrible, where the Mr. Goyder, the chairman, sort of turned off the mic on one of the people, and it was seen on TV. I think that was really poor. Poor communication when it comes to shareholders.
Yeah, I mean, all I think about there is there are so many things you can YouTube them. Barack Obama particularly is the best. He's had his share of hecklers, and sometimes the way that he would engage with hecklers has always, even Jerry Seinfeld does it. They engage a bit more. Yes, okay, security will kick someone out who's unruly. That happens. But I think turning off the mic is
it wasn't a
definitely
good picture. I think it gave the impression they weren't opening their ears and listening to the shareholders, which meant that is why they've had so many problems.
That's right. But even a little bit of humour, I think, is important sometimes too. Barack Obama said to one heckler once, he said, "You're ruining the end of my speech. I'm almost finished. You're ruining the end." And everybody laughed. And I think sometimes the soft spot that you can have for those
I agree
things
with you.
is...
Look, there was a vision of the President Biden. I don't know if you saw it on Instagram. Many people may have seen it. You know how the president's been a bit clumsy at times and fallen downstairs, etc. Well, it was a close-up on camera of the president, and in the background, one of the journalists had fallen over. So you hear the boom, 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 and the president turns around and says, "Are you okay?" And you don't see the journalist, but they say, "Yes, I am." And the president comes back to him on camera and he says, "Well, there you go. I just want the journalists to know I didn't fall over. It wasn't me this time." So, and I think taking the mickey out of yourself sometimes works. Thank you, Chris. All the best with All in Culture. We hope to see you next year. You've passed the test. You're an expert. That is Chris Moyer. That is Nisha Seth. Coming up now, the ladies are in position, ready for their last segment for Talking Fitness. Please welcome Hala and the girls from Club Fiesta. Here they are.
Thank you, Fred. Hi, everyone. My name is Hala, and I'm from Club Fiesta. Welcome to our Talking Fit segment. Today, we're going to be showcasing a little dance, fitness, exercise, little routine that you guys can do from home. I've got my team with me today. I've got Christine, Kaylee, Amanda, Taylor, and Debs. All right, so as you all know, fitness is so important, guys. Even if you do 20 minutes a day, it is really good for your mind and for your body as well. And when the fitness part is also good, especially when it comes to dancing. If you love dancing, as long as you keep moving, it's really good for your mental health as well, because it releases the endorphins and you just have the rest of the day heaps better for you. So make sure you move, keep moving, because that's our bodies are designed to do. Are you ready to get warm with us and dance? All right, let's do this. We're so excited to be here. Here we go. Hit the music. All right, we're going to go side to side, step, slide. Here we go. That's it. Just dance with us, guys. Beautiful. Cute clothes. And then speed drive. Oh yes. Car. Lamborghini. Or was it Tesla? All right. We're going to jump side to side. Here we go. Oh. You. Let's go. 2 steps each side. Let's go, girls. Whoop. Hey. Do it again. Yusuf. We're gonna start with the Barbie theme. Let's go, one more. Looking good. We're gonna bounce around. Shimmy, shake, here we go. We're gonna do it one more. Uh-oh. Now we're gonna go to Brazil. Ready? Step. Here we go. Are you ready to dance with us? Brazil. 5, 6, 7, go. Single, single, double. Oh yes. Bring it down. Hey. 4, 3, 2. Take it back. Let's go. Hey. Back to the carnival. Here we go. Woo. Shoulders in. Ready? Come on down. 4, 3. Step back. Boom. Other way. Hey. Ready? 5, 6. Bring it in. Let's go. Woo! That was a bit loud. Bring it down. Take it back. Let's go. One more. Bring it down. 4, 3, 2. Step side to side. Come and see us. Oh yes. Take it back. Beautiful. Now you ready to clap? Hey. How you doing, girls? Are you ready to dance? Oh yes. Ready to dance with us at home? 3 taps to the side. 3. Hey, hey. That's it. All you need to do is dance. Anywhere, anytime. Check this. Yes, you can. To the side. Ooh, touch it. Clap, clap. Again. You. Last one. And then Well done, everyone. Thank you so much for having us. Thank you, Fred, for having us. I hope you guys had fun. I hope you tried this at home. Thank you again. I hope you guys have an amazing day. And don't forget, keep moving. Back to you, Fred.
Thank you very much to the Club Fiesta team. They've been wonderful. And can I just say, very quickly, thank you for my wonderful flowers as well, being our final show. And we've loved having you here. We'll have you back next year. Someone that's been with us for a very long time and still keeps coming back is Steve Collins. With him is our very own Nisha Seth, and they're talking travel today about South Australia and more. Over to you.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Fred. And we all love travelling, especially right now. And you're always travelling, Steve.
Yeah, we've just come back from being 3 months on the road. And we're planning we're going to Darwin next, and then we're planning another big trip over the East Coast. So, yeah, we've been doing a bit of travelling because Heather's retired. My wife's retired,
Yes.
you see. So she's discovered that there's no time frame.
Excellent.
Just do whatever you want.
Abundance. Nice way to live, right?
Yeah. So no, but today we went up through the Kimberley and Northern Territory, came down through South Australia, and today I'm going to talk about probably the most bizarre place I've ever visited. It's probably the opal capital of Australia. It's Coober Pedy in South Australia.
Yes.
It's something like 986 kilometres north of Adelaide and 685 kilometres south.
Very good with your
of
geography
Alice
there,
Springs.
Steve.
Oh yeah, and it's absolutely a remarkable place there, because when you drive into it, you think, "What's here?" It's sort of like it's all the detritus from all the mining they do there, because it's opals, and they just sort of dig out a mine and throw their stuff up there. But the most fascinating thing about it is everyone lives underground. And we were there, we lived in an underground motel, which was amazing. There's no windows or anything like that, but there's no air conditioners because it's beautiful. And it looks like a real home. This is the museum, which is right next door to the motel, but this is how people used to live. They would work there, they'd go there, they'd get a plot, they'd go and they'd start digging and they'd find opals. And then when the opals moved out, they'd move on to another room. And then what they'd do is they'd say, well, this is stupid, I'm going to live here. So they would turn the room that had no opals into, or they've plundered the opals from, and they would turn that into a bedroom or a living room or a kitchen. This is what they do.
So what was it like staying there?
Oh, absolutely fantastic.
Loved it?
It's really
Didn't get claustrophobic?
No, I didn't, because when you're at night, it's pitch black because you're underground.
So you did have candles? Was it romantic?
Oh no, well they do have lights, but when you turn the lights out, there's no ambient light underneath there, and it's really comfortable.
And what about noise? Is it really dead
There's
silent?
no noise.
Beautiful.
I mean, if you've got noisy neighbours, there may be, but it's no. And when you look at this is about the best garden they can have here, because it's desert. And there's no topsoil, and it's sand, and nothing grows there. And see, when you get there, they've got an 18-hole golf course on there, and there's not a blade of grass
my goodness.
on the golf course. But it is a fantastic experience.
This is like it's like out of a movie,
Well,
right?
it is. If you remember Star Wars, and where Luke Skywalker you go down and he's living on. That was basically like that. But it's so much. There's churches that they've got underground churches. Everything's underground there, except for the township itself. That's sort of built above the ground. But no, it's fantastic. Really interesting to go there for a few days. There's some good things. There's the Painted Desert nearby. You need a four-wheel drive vehicle for that. You're not all that far from Lake Eyre. You can drive. What I say, in those terms, I mean, it's about a 4-hour drive to William Creek, which is the closest town to Lake Eyre and stuff like that. But it is a true outback, and it was extraordinary. Loved every minute of being there because it was so unusual. But the best thing is, at night we went to the Big Wench Hotel, which is the pub on top of a hill, and you go there at sunset, and the sunsets that you get over the desert are extraordinary. They're absolutely fantastic. They're so colourful and vivid, much better than sort of looking at it over the sea. So that was Coober Pedy. Now, we sort of headed a bit further south and we went to the Yorke Peninsula, which is astounding. I didn't know much about this. It's got 700 kilometres of coastline. It's about an hour from Adelaide. It's between the St Vincent and the Spencer Gulfs, and it's sort of right opposite the water, right opposite Adelaide.
Beautiful.
And look at this. This is extraordinary. There's all these merciful cliffs, and there's magnificent beaches there.
Not a soul in sight.
Not
either.
a soul
So
in
quite an
sight. You know,
isolated
we were about the only car I saw there because not a lot of people know about it, and it is just drop dead gorgeous.
Now, where did you stay? Did you have like a Winnebago?
Oh, we had an Airbnb at a place called Sultana Point, and Sultana Point is near an historic town there called Edithburgh, which was designed by Colonel William Light, the guy that designed Adelaide. So it is a historic town, but it's wonderful, very rich farmland there. And you just go for drives, all these great little towns. In fact, we went to a couple of little towns, and this is one. We went to the pub at this town, great pubs.
I saw your photos on Facebook.
You sit there and you get a great view over the water. The food's good. And being South Australia, the wines and that are fantastic. See, I reckon South Australia is the food and wine capital of Australia. The restaurants, particularly in Adelaide, are fabulous. But this place, I really didn't know much about it. And they have all these painted towers that they have there, water towers.
Beautiful.
And there's a water tower trail. But there's a little place called Yorktown there, which is sort of in the middle of the peninsula. And you do the Salt Lake tour around there. There's about 200 Salt Lake tours just around that little area.
Beautiful.
Some of them are pink lakes and that. It's phenomenal.
So it sounds like you had a really great time.
You know what was it? The amazing thing about the York Peninsula was I didn't know what to expect, and when I got there, it exceeded my expectations. It's not far from Adelaide. In fact, when you go down to the end of the peninsula, you can look out and you can see Kangaroo Island in the distance, and it's and the water is gorgeous.
So what's
some of the beaches are lovely.
Yeah, what's the easiest way to get there? Because I know you're very adventurous, but some people might be sitting there thinking,
the easiest way to get there is to fly into Adelaide, and look, you can probably get buses there, but I would advise, if you haven't got a car, to hire yourself a car, because you will need it to go out and about. You really do want to drive around and see the whole of the peninsula.
Excellent.
It was just lovely.
And importantly, did Heather and you have a really good time?
We had a fantastic time. We're planning it again. We're going away.
Good.
I don't know.
Any ideas? Can you give us a sneak peek?
We didn't get divorced.
Excellent. How long have you been married now?
40-something years.
Fantastic.
40,
so we might have you on another segment, Secrets of a Long Marriage.
Yeah, well, you better talk to us separately, because you might get different versions of that, I think. That wouldn't be one where we'd be on the couch together, I think, otherwise you won't get the truth.
You guys are a beautiful couple. And Steve, it's always so beautiful to have you on the couch. And
well, it's always lovely to be here.
And you find always the most amazing gems of places around Australia.
Well, I know that.
I know I've told some of my clients some of your recommendations.
Oh, yeah.
And they've gone and
they've really enjoyed it.
They've loved
I
it.
only give advice about going to places that I like.
Yeah.
And because if I've been somewhere I don't like it, which is very uncommon for me, because I find good things about just about every place. But no, if I find a place that's good, I recommend it. I recommend Coober Pedy if you want to try something that's truly unique. And I recommend the York Peninsula for a beach holiday that you would never think to experience.
Wonderful. Well, I know that you record a lot of your trips. Where do people go to find out?
Well, I've got my YouTube channel, Tell Me Where to Go.
Love that.
2 is the numeral 2. And I whack a lot up there. So, yeah.
Wonderful. Well, hey, a Merry Christmas to you and Heather.
Merry Christmas to you,
and
thank you.
You'll be back, I'm sure, next year on the couch.
Well, if Fred will have me, you never know. He's very, very particular about who he has in this show, and he doesn't like anybody that's better looking than him.
You two are so long-term friends, they are, so no one take that seriously. Steve, thank you very much for coming on the show. And we'll have more soon. And if you've missed any of that, thecouch.com.au. But for now, it's back to you, Fred.
Well, given that scenario, Steve, you've got a job here for life. You're never going to be better looking than me. So Steve is safe. He's back next year. Can I just say a little secret too, Nisha? Yeah. The only reason their holidays are successful and their marriage has lasted, they don't go together. They go separately. Right. Heather's still on her way back.
Yes. She'll be back next Tuesday.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much to Steve Collins, of course, wonderful travel correspondent. Great to have on the show, and we'll have him back next year if he'll have us. Thank you to Nisha as well. We're going to take a break on the couch. Back with more of the couch right after this.
Connect with the couch online through Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube.
Welcome back to The Couch. It is our final for 2023, and one of the people who have been very important to us is, of course, Red Zoo and Conservation Park here in Pinjarra. And the man running it all has been Bradley Holland. He is the founder and co-owner, but he's now the owner of the zoo. A very expensive zoo. We're going to find out more about what it takes to run a zoo and what help you, the people of Perth, especially business people. We're looking for you to help us, maybe help Red run the zoo. Welcome to Red, which is Ranger Red, of course. Welcome to The Couch. Nice to have you back with friend Pamela on your head. Yep. It looks really good. It's a very model look for you. And I'm glad I'm not holding Pamela today. And can I also thank your niece, Jay Lee, for coming in. And she's got Bob the lizard. Hello, Jay Lee.
Hi.
Nice to have you. Am I right? Is that Bob?
Yeah.
And do you know what sort of lizard that is?
A bobtail lizard.
Now, how important do you reckon being a keeper for the day is to you?
Very important.
Do you enjoy it?
Yes.
What do you do for the day? When you nominate to be a keeper for the day, what do they get you to do?
Well, I do cleaning out the cages, prepping all the animals' food, and sometimes I help do shows at the zoo.
Is it a lot of fun?
Yes.
Because how old are you?
I'm 11.
You're 11. It's a big responsibility
Yes.
running the zoo. Do you have to sort of tell all the people that are watching you what you're doing, like all the public?
Yeah.
Is it fun?
Well, yes, because I get to explain how things work.
And what the animals are and what they eat and whether you have to be careful.
Yeah.
And have you ever been bitten by one of the animals?
Not yet.
Not yet, so it's pretty safe.
Yeah.
And do you get a meal or anything when you're doing keeper for the day?
Yes. They
Really?
prep food.
What sort of food? Oh, not the animal food. Like, do you get anything that I can maybe enjoy?
Yeah.
Ice cream, maybe.
Yeah, there's ice cream.
Oh, well, I'm available next year. Not doing any TV next year. Thank you for coming in today.
You're
Now,
welcome.
Red, welcome back.
Thank you.
You have
Thank
done
you.
an amazing job. Can I just say, how many years have you been running Red Zoo?
We took over on the 9th of the 9th, 2019, but the zoo itself has been around for 30 years.
Now, we're talking about Peel Zoo before it became Red Zoo.
And before that, it started out as Ballawood Bird Park.
Correct.
So we're working with infrastructure that is about 30 years old. Earlier this year, I've been in talks to try and get things moving for WA's first open range zoo. And that's more important than ever because our lease is due to expire next year. While we do have the opportunity to extend it, urbanisation is crawling in on the zoo.
The land is becoming valuable.
Yeah,
They're gonna
and
turn
not
into
everyone
houses.
wants to live next door to a zoo, unfortunately. So we're sending out an SOS, not to the general public, so I know everyone's struggling at the moment, but if there's any corporates, any mining companies that can sponsor it in some way, we need your help because the zoo's really struggling at the moment.
And here in WA, for those people over east, we've only got one public zoo, which
correct.
is in South Perth. So this is quite unique. This zoo is amazing. Tell the people watching today, Red, and I know you've done it before, what sort of animals can they see and what sort of animals do you look after at Red Zoo?
So we look after wombats, Tasmanian devils, koalas, a lot of reptiles, a lot of birds, kangaroos, possums, gliders. But there's animals that need protection in the form of the western swamp tortoise, the ground parrot, even the chudage, which people in the eastern states probably know as a quoll. But we don't have the space available to set up those breeding programs. So that's, as well as an open range zoo, allowing exotics to be exhibited and West Australians to have an opportunity to have an encounter with an exotic like a big cat or a primate or even some of the who's species. It will allow us to set up breeding facilities to keep our highly endangered animals alive.
And that's the other part of what you do. It's a conservation park as well,
It is,
not
yep.
just a zoo as people think.
Yeah.
And it's the wonderful thing too, you're an inclusive zoo because you allow children to come in and do school holiday programs. And today we've had Jaylee is here and we're talking about the school holiday program where people can come in and be a keeper for the day. Tell us how that works.
So you drop your child off at 10 a.m. and you pick them up at 3 p.m. And our keepers who are good with kids and have working with children and everything provide that opportunity for them to have hands-on experiences. But it's more important that this younger generation is going to take over from us. So they're going to be the new guardians of those animals and that need our help. And I don't think people realise, but the cost of running the zoo is over $15,000
I was going to
a week.
ask you, tell us again, because I know you've told us before, what does it cost to just feed the animals?
It's $15,000 a week.
All up.
Yep.
That's a lot of money.
Yeah.
And
our
you're
biggest
running it yourself.
expense is $8,000 a month for rent and electricity and water.
And who pays the staff? Does that come out of that 15,000?
Yes, that's
so you're
some
pretty
of that
economical.
expense.
You're pretty good
Yep.
because that's a lot of money.
Yep.
But how hard is it to find that sort of money and keep something like this valuable zoo and conservation park going?
Because everyone's struggling at the moment to go to the zoo. Is a luxury, and a lot of people are having trouble pay their own rent or even groceries and bills.
The cost of living.
So to take
and
your
interest.
child to the zoo or bring your child to the zoo is a luxury, and a lot of people just can't afford it.
Exactly, and we need people's help. So if you're out there and maybe Mr. Rio Tinto or one of those fantastic miners, Gina Reinhardt. And
maybe
Twiggy
Gina would
Forrester.
like to be a keeper for a day.
Yeah, well, that would be a wonderful thing. She's been everything else for the day. Look, it is important. As the state government giving you any support in the way of land, maybe, because I know how much you pay for lease as well.
Yep.
It's huge, folks. It's not a cheap thing to rent. Because how many acres do you have?
We're only on 6 hectares, but we're in talks to acquire a 3,000 acre property.
That's a lot.
And I've got to say a big thank you to Robin Clark, who's the member for Shire of Peel and Murray, because she's been one of our biggest supporters.
Beautiful.
And she's helping us get a lot of introductions to help get the state government, the Labor state government in Western Australia, the support we need from them as well.
What a wonderful idea to keep this zoo going. And we do urge people to don't sit back thinking, I'll leave it to somebody. There's bound to be heaps of people. Get involved, because that's what we want. We want heaps of people with a bit of money that are happy to do it because they support local and support the great work that Red is doing, Ranger Red, of course. If you want to get in touch with Red, what's your website?
redzoo.com.au.
Oh, you got it right. So you read the screen. Hey, Jaylee, are you scared of snakes?
No.
You're not scared of it because she's right behind you. Pamela's right behind you. No, you're not worried at all?
I've known her since she was like really little.
Trust you to be a relative of Red. And I'm scared of her anyway. Now, is there plenty of room for the Keeper for the Day program?
There is, and although it's designed for children 8 to 16, if you've got an adult party and you want to do something with your family members, we've even hosted parties for a 30-year-old and a 21-year-old.
It is fantastic. Red Zoo is where you'll find all of this. Can I put you to the test, Kaylee, before we go today? Tell me in, say, about a minute, tell me a little bit about Bob. If I was at the zoo and I came up, excuse me, young lady, who is Bob? What is he? What type of animal?
Well, Bob is a bobtail lizard.
What does he eat?
I'm not too sure about that, but I think he lives in like the Kimberley.
Yes. Ooh, you're good at making it up. You're very creative. Does he bite? Does he feel cold?
A little, but...
Is that a pet that you'd like to have at home?
Yes.
Oh, good, you can have it. And the snake, if you like. I'm giving it to you. Look, Jaylee, you're wonderful. Do you urge a lot of kids? What do you say to kids out there? Look at this camera. Tell kids why they need to get involved with this school program.
Well, you should really get involved to learn more about animals and more about experience. So if you ever like come across an animal, don't just like assume that it's friendly, because they're not always friendly.
So do your research and always be on the side of caution as well. Well done. He's taught you well, Ranger Red. Ranger Red, thank you for being on the couch this year. You are wonderful. We look forward to having you next year and supporting you heaps. We'd love people with deep pockets to please donate and get involved with Red Zoo. Every little bit of money will keep the zoo going, and I'm telling you now, he does so much work. He is the zoo, just like I am the couch. As you can see, we're big figures because we put a lot of money and a lot of work into what we believe and love, and we'd love you to support him. Is there anything you'd like to say to wrap up?
Have a wonderful Christmas, and we hope you come down to the zoo for a Christmas visit, if nothing else.
And don't trust him if you say his animals don't fly, because they do. Thank you. We'll see you next year. Thank you, Jaylee. We'll take a break. More of The Couch coming up right after this.
Connect with The Couch online through Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube.
Welcome back to the couch. Nice to have you here on our last show for 2023. We always love having community groups on the show. Today's no different. We've got a couple of people today, one from Native Animal Rescue and the other one from Wildlife Care WA. To talk to them today is our very own Nisha Seth. Over to you.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Fred. And we have two very special guests and two very special animal guests as well today on the couch. I'd like to welcome Lynn from Wildlife Care WA, and she's got little Archie Bunker, Euro Joey, on her lap. And also I'd like to say hello to Kelly from Native Animal Rescue. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you.
We always loving having animals on the couch. Everyone's going, ooh, when we walk in. So we might start with you, Lynn, first. Tell us a bit about Wildcare WA.
Wildlife Care WA is a group of carers that most of them are licensed through other groups, but it's an action group that we have put together to do post-bushfire management with wildlife and also through the local councils and some of the developers regarding a better way to develop and clear land without impacting so much on wildlife.
Yeah.
We also take in, our carers will take in joeys as well.
Wonderful. And there are a lot of joeys that you actually do take in, right?
Yes.
Yeah. How many would you say there are? Roughly?
On average, yes, 20 and above per year that come into our care. Some years it's more than others, some years it's less than others. We do pass them on sometimes to other carers, but we just take as many as we can do.
Wonderful. And to be a carer for a joey, that's not an easy thing, is it?
No,
What's involved?
It's not easy. It needs a lot of experience and be mentored. You need to be mentored by an experienced carer up to 5 or 6 years before you can really take on doing joeys. 24-hour job, sometimes bottles every 4 hours, even during the night, for months on end.
Yeah, wow. Well, good on you for being so passionate about this, so needed here in Western Australia with bushfire season coming up as well. I'm sure you'll be very busy.
We're all a little bit worried about that.
Okay, well, we're going to come back to you shortly and talk more to Archie Bunker as well. But Kelly, what does NAR or the Native Animal Rescue Group do?
Okay, so we're a not-for-profit wildlife centre, a wildlife hospital north of the river. We receive about 3,000 sick, injured, orphan, displaced wildlife per year that come into the hospital. We do the black cockatoo rehabilitation program as well. We do just mixed wildlife. So everything that comes through the door we will take on and do our best to get it back out there again.
Beautiful. And it's great to have both of you on the show together today. How do you actually work together? How did you meet? Was it through these two little cuties?
No, I used to volunteer for Native Animal Rescue many years ago before we moved forward. Yeah. And then through one of the bushfires that we did, we needed extra volunteers and we asked Native Animal Rescue if they could provide that, and they came along as well. And because they have got such an amazing wildlife hospital with vets there now, we can get vet treatment free for our wildlife as well.
Isn't that beautiful? That's fantastic working together.
Yes,
and
networking well.
If I may ask, because you both probably are doing this from a passion or purpose, Lynn, what got you involved first in being in this area?
My daughter was doing work experience at Native Animal Rescue, and I stopped one day when I picked her up to just help out, and after that, 30 years ago, now I'm still doing it, so yep.
Very fulfilling.
Oh, very much so, yes.
What about yourself, Kelly?
I wanted a turtle, so I was told if I wanted a turtle, I needed to be involved with a rehabilitation centre. So I went down to NAR, started volunteering, and was hooked from the first week I was there.
Beautiful. And how many years has it been now?
24.
Wow, 24 years.
Yeah.
Oh, hats off. That's just beautiful, beautiful. Now, let's talk about the little cuties you have on your laps there. So we might start off, Lynn, with you. We've got Archie Bunker. Tell us his rescue story.
Archie Bunker is an orphan. All of our joeys are orphans. He came from Mundaring. His mum was sadly killed on the road. They're doing a few new developments up there, and unfortunately when they put a road through the middle of a kangaroo track where they've been going for years and years, you're asking for trouble. And his mum was hit by a car, and they brought the Euro through to Native Animal Rescue. They gave me a ring and said, have you got room at your place for just one more? And I said, just one more.
You'd never say no, would you?
No. And Euros are different than your Western Greys. They don't grow so big, but by Joe's, they're mischievous. They will be on your lounge, they'll be on your sink, they'll be in the bath, even if there's water in it and even if you're in it.
Oh, bless, that's so cute.
They'll be in the bath with you.
So what's so special about Archie Bunker? Has he been doing anything specific?
Yeah, look, he's very, very sociable. He just loves people and he's so relaxed as well, and he makes me laugh. He makes a lot of people laugh just because he's so funny. And we can do this now with him while he's so young, but there will come a time when we will have to withdraw slowly but surely human contact with him so that he can learn to be a wild animal, hopefully.
Well, he looks very, very relaxed on your lap there.
Oh, he is.
He's having a good time, very lucky. So let's talk about Queenie now too. What's Queenie's rescue story, Kelly?
So her mum was unfortunately killed by a bike, and she was on Rottnest. She was accidentally brought over to the mainland. Once they've been brought over to the mainland, they can't go back onto the island because of quarantine issues. So she came into our care, and we were lucky enough to be able to keep her with us, and she's going to be part of our education program. So lots of school kids will get to understand about them and fall in love with wildlife.
Ah, beautiful.
And help our wildlife going forward.
So a new member of your team officially.
Correct.
Yeah,
yes.
Wonderful. Now, of course, taking care of these beautiful creatures doesn't come cheap either as well. What does it cost in terms of taking care of a Joey, Lynn?
A Joey can be upwards of $2,000 each when they come into care. And our annual costs would run close to $50,000 for the food, for the care of these guys.
Yes.
We also have petrol when we go out to the bushfires. We've got a trailer that we take out with us. That needs to be insured. All of our volunteers need to be insured. So
it's an operation, isn't it? It's a business operation.
Yes,
and
it
is
is.
it similar for yourself as well, Kelly?
It probably costs us around about $500,000 a year to function. So insurances are a massive, massive cost to us. Food costs, veterinary costs. So it all adds up.
Okay. So you do receive probably some support, I imagine, but I'm sure that you could have more support with all the help that you're providing. What can people do, maybe first yourself, Liv, what can people do to get involved with Wildlife Care WA?
Look, we desperately need funds. There's no two ways about it. We get no grants from the government. We don't even get any support or help from any of the agencies as far as the government is concerned. For people to occasionally flick some, donations forward for us. I know a lot of people will look at the wildlife in other countries and, help the bears in China, etc. We need to start looking at our own backyard, so
So where do we go? I know that on the screen now your details have come up.
Yes. So if anybody wants to know anything about what Wildlife Care WA do, please go to our Facebook page. On Facebook, you can find us at Wildlife Care WA. We put regular posts up about our animals. And there's also our donation details are there if you would like to make a donation for us.
Fantastic. Thank you, Lynn. You do such a good job. And Kelly, what about yourself? What kind of assistance are you looking for, and where can people provide that?
Well, financial assistance is always fantastic, but we also need volunteers to help us with the animal and run the animals and help us run the hospital. So they can actually send an email and we can get back to them about when they're available and what suits us as well.
Excellent. And where can people go? What's the website?
So nativeanimalrescue.org.au. Sorry about that.
That's okay.
And send us an email and we can get back to them.
Fantastic. Well, ladies, thank you so much for joining us on the couch on our final episode. Thank you so much, Archie Bunker. I'm doing a little nodder. How cute. And also Queenie. And of course, here at the couch, we like to support all community groups, and both of these are fantastic. So please go to thecouch.com.au if you're missing any details. We'll see you next year, hopefully, guys, and keep up the good work.
Thank you so much for having us on here.
Absolute pleasure. Thanks,
you.
guys. Back to you, Fred.
Thank you to Nisha, and thank you to our guests. Please support them. They are great community groups and deserve to be supported as well. We'll hopefully have them back next year. We're going to take a break, talking Christmas after the break with Frances Higgins from the Kmart Wishing Tree. Stick around. You're watching The Couch. Welcome back to the couch. It's always nice this time of the year to have a happy face on the couch. Not that me and Nisha aren't happy enough, but Frances Higgins from Kmart Maddington is back. Welcome back to the couch.
Thank you, Fred.
It is
Lovely
so
to be
nice
here
to
as
have you
always.
here. Now, you're talking about the Kmart Wishing Tree, Frances. You've been the spokesperson for WA for many years. Is it 30 years or 40 years you've been running it all?
No, it is 36 years this year, but I've been probably running it, I've been 20 years now with Kmart, Maddington, so probably about 15.
But
I think
36 years this organisation has been running the Kmart Wishing Tree. Just quickly tell everybody, how does the Kmart Wishing Tree actually work?
Well, obviously it started back in 1987, as you know, by a lady in Adelaide who, she had a representative from a charity group, Salvation Army, if Kmart could be based. And then from there they continued, and then as it is today, still the largest and the longest serving, charity going for the Salvation Army.
Now, the Salvation Army is your partner with this. They distribute the gifts that you raise. Tell me how it works. So if I want to be involved with the Kmart Wishing Tree, what do I have to do?
Well, obviously tomorrow, from the 13th of November to the 24th of December, is the official launch. If you want to, every store, as we speak, should have their tree set up in WA.
So say I buy this gift from Target and I want to bring it to Kmart. And do I wrap it or do I give it to you unwrapped?
No.
And do I put a card on it?
Yes, there is a wishing tree card that's attached to our trees. You place it on the gift.
You take one of those, write it on there. It's for a boy or girl, aged. And do you have to say what it is?
No.
Or not really?
No, because they can see what it is, and then the Salvation Army people will pick it up and then distribute it to each families or...
Now, we're starting, as you said, tomorrow roughly around Australia. And when do they have to have all the gifts in by? What's the last date?
24th of December.
24th of December, folks, is their last day to get those gifts into the Kmart store. And it is wonderful. They've got a box near the entry there. Most of the Kmart stores, I think all of them have got it. And we'd love you to support it. We want this year to break our record. We know everybody has had a hard time with cost of living. This is last year's launch, of course. We were there. We ate cupcakes. We met some people from Salvation Army. The Mayor of Maddington was there. Gosnell, sorry. And all the staff at Maddington. They do an amazing job. That's all the management there dressed up in those lovely animals outfit. Frances, how hard is it to constantly be motivating people to give gifts? I know it's easy for you, but it's a hard job, isn't it?
It is, and obviously people do struggle out there with our economy at the moment. But I just think, as I've been down with Ben, and with Ben, he's great down there at the Salvation Army and the volunteers, and my staff, our family, my Kmart family, down there, we all get behind it, and we really try and as Kmart as a whole, the head office, they do us a package and they encourage us. We've got competitions for each store in, WA, Australia. They've encouraged people to get involved. We get the community. I have the community. My local daycares help me out.
Oh, you're doing a wonderful job. Look, it's pretty easy. Get a gift. Doesn't have to be expensive. Just remember there's a lot of kids out there that don't have any gifts at Christmas. They lack family units and all that type of thing. We'd love you to give to people who have less than ourselves, and that's all it's all about. Help out other people. It always makes you feel so good to help other people.
Yes, it does.
Kmart this year have got some amazing toys as well. We've got little koala dressed up in the Christmas outfit. And the little doggy here. And you can get those at Kmart. I don't know how much they cost.
$10.
$10. How can you afford to sell that for $10? So there's lots of Christmas stuff. So if you don't know what to get, just go in and say to them, look, I want to put something under the tree for the Kmart Wishing Tree. Have you got any stuff? And can I tell you, they have got so much at Kmart, whether it's socks, clothes, knickers, T-shirts, jumpers, shorts, toys, or anything from the home stuff as well.
Yeah, but if I can say one thing, in the package it does, how we always say that it's for the children? Please think of the elderly, our single parents, grandparents. They're looking after their own grandchildren now. But think of the elderly, not just... I know people think wishing trees the children, but think of the older people, and they're struggling and they like to receive a gift. And as you know, I've been down there and there is toys overloaded with, for the children. But please think of our elderly.
Well, let's recap. We start tomorrow. We go through the 24th of December. We'd love you to put a gift under the tree at all the Kmart stores all around Australia. They do a wonderful job, Wesfarmers and the Kmart-owned store. They do an amazing job. We'd love you to be involved. The Salvation Army is a fantastic partner once again. You can go down to Maddington here in Perth and actually meet our lovely Frances if you really want to. You'll never let her go. Trust me, she'll never let you go because she's good at raising money for the kids and all the people that you want to give wonderful gifts to. Thank you to Frances. Frances, there's a website if people want more information. They can go to the Kmart Wishing Tree website. So let's put it up on screen there. There it is there, www.kmartwishingtree.com.au. They do a wonderful job and we'd love you people to look it up and get involved. It is wonderful to help other people. Thank you for coming in.
Thank you, Fred.
And we'll touch base with you on the radio on 6PR during it and also at the end and tell you how they all went. We want to break the record. That is it for The Couch today. Thank you for your company. Can I just say thank you to all our wonderful presenters, Alexander Demelza, to Belinda, to Steve Collins, to Nisha Seth, who interviews all the fabulous guests on the show. Anyone else I've forgotten, Nisha? Can you think of any other presenters I've forgotten? I think I've got pretty much covered it. Yell it out in the control room if I've forgotten anyone. Sonia, our wonderful floor manager. Abby, who was doing it as well early in the year. Alec, thank you for doing sound. Josh, thank you for doing sound as well. Thank you to Brendan, who's been our DA in the control room helping. Adrian, our director, all year. Thank you to Barbara. There they are. Wave to them. They do a great job. Josh is the crazy one at the back there, waving his arms around when he should be doing audio. Adrian's the one that's saying, hurry up, stop talking, and we just ignore him as we always do. And Brendan's just the calm one that just keeps everything under control. Nisha, can I just say you're fabulous. It's wonderful working with you on the show, and I look forward to coming back next year with all the different segments that we do. And can I say thank you to Sonia especially, and can I thank our camera people? Let me thank Michael, who's come back in between working. Thank you to Tess. Thank you to Petrian. Thank you to Charlotte. We love having you all here. And thank you to Lucas as well, that's not here today. Lucas had to work at McDonald's today, so he could pay off his petrol in his car. Thank you to Barbara in the tea room who looks after all our guests. Thank you to you at home for being part of the show for 23 years. Thank you to all our fabulous guests. Thank you to our singers. We've had thousands of them throughout the years and we love having them here. We hope to be back next year. And finally, thank you to the State Government, Department of Education, for lending us this amazing place we called Side TV Studio. We hope to be back, if not here, somewhere else in the new year, but we are looking forward to coming back in 2024. We're going to leave you today with a wonderful lady. She flew all the way from Melbourne. That's how important this show is to her. She could have stayed home, but she chose to come here. Her name is Marianne van der Hurst. She's singing a beautiful song, which is another original today. It's called Better Us. Thank you, Australia. Have a great Christmas. Look after each other. Have a great new year. Don't drink too much. Be safe, and we'll see you next year. Bye-bye.
Nobody cared, they just ignoring you. It's only me who's always there for you. Come to me and we will be forever. Come and take me, 'cause loving you is the answer. Your sadness is over. I'll make it better. I make it better, last forever. I'm the answer to your happy. I love you truly, so never leave me. You are my only, my one and only man. suddenly you are my world. I'm so devoted. We are on our own world. Stay with me, and we will be forever. Come and save me. The love I ever see inside. You are my treasure. You